This past week, I received a call in the office here at church, and it was from someone who wanted to become a member of St. Jude. And we had a great conversation. And what I learned from this person was that she had heard about St. Jude. She wasn't sure about who we were. She wasn't even sure where we were. So her husband went on the internet, got the address, and she came. She came to the country fair. She actually met some old friends from, other times in other churches. And she spoke to many people. Obviously, you guys are friendly because she decided that she was going to come and attend services. Now, I don't know if people gave her different invitations to different services, or she came and heard that there were 3 of them. But over the weeks, she came to the 8 o'clock, she came to the 10:15, and she went to the 6 p.m. And something that was happening in this community, something that she saw in the midst of our worship, in the midst of our interactions with each other and with her, caused her to want to abide, to stay, to be part of this community. And so she made the call last Tuesday. In our Bible story, we meet Andrew and Philip, disciples of John the Baptizer. And they come to Jesus wanting to know more about him, and he invites them to come and see. To just come and be part of his day, of his life, of his community. They come at about 4 in the afternoon, the gospel writer says. And if we remember that the Jewish day actually starts at sundown, then they spend the day with him, which takes in that evening through the next morning into the following evening. And somewhere along the way, Andrew and Philip recognize God in the presence of Jesus. John doesn't tell us what happened that day. But I wonder, from the other stories in John, if those 2 men had the opportunity to see Jesus heal, to see Jesus restore hope, to see Jesus reach out across barriers that are constructed through social and political and ethnic divides, to touch people who are on the outskirts, to touch people who are overlooked and often unacknowledged. Perhaps they went with Jesus in the morning to morning prayer and saw Jesus worship in community. Perhaps they heard Jesus' prayer to the Father and recognized the relationship between Jesus and God the Father. Perhaps they saw Jesus interact with children, saw him enjoy the laughter and the rambunctiousness of children. And perhaps they saw Jesus quietly speaking to another person, talking about God, about God's kingdom, telling the stories, the parables that help us to understand that what God calls us to is to fight and to work for justice and peace and fairness for all. Perhaps in that time they recognized that something wonderful was happening there. And because of that, they wanted to stay, to abide, to be part of the community. But they didn't stop there. The story that John tells let us know that Andrew reaches out to his brother and says to his brother Peter, you too need to come and see this wonderful thing that is happening here. And Philip reaches out to Nathanael and says the same thing, come and see. And these men will become disciples, part of the group that follows Jesus for 3 years, and beyond the resurrection and the ascension, continue to work, to do good for, in the name of God, to serve other people. And you know, the person who called me this past week, she too reached out to her husband and said, come and see. And he has attended church as well. And she wants to know how she can become involved, how she can be part of the St. Michael's Mission Center. She wants me to know that she can sew, she can quilt, maybe she can make baby bibs. And we talked a little bit about how her time and her talent and her treasures would be just a wonderful gift to this community. There is something wonderful happening in this community. I've heard your stories. You know, when I was reading the bulletin and reading the people who are up for vestry elections, I see in those stories that you came to this church and you found a community where you were welcomed and where you don't only want to sit and hear, you want to be part of the work of building God's kingdom. And perhaps it is in the friendliness that you met when you first came here. Perhaps it is in the invitation that Father Christopher gives for us all to come and be part of the communion that meets at this place to share bread and the wine, the body and blood, to break bread together as one beloved family of God. Perhaps it was in the announcements when you heard of all the ministries going on here and you thought something good's happening. Perhaps it's in coffee hour, the fellowship, the community, the good food. Perhaps it's in the message that you heard and you recognize the presence of the Messiah and you said yes. You said, yes, I want to abide. Yes, I want to be part of this community. And yes, I want to serve, not just within these walls, but outside the gates, outside into the neighborhood. My prayer for us here at St. Jude is that we will continue to be a community that wants to abide with Jesus. That through our words and our actions, we will invite others to come and see and be part of the work that's done. May we never stop hearing God's call to be in relationship with Him, to be kingdom builders, and to go out and serve. Amen.
Amen.